Hello everybody, Skyrain here again, back with some news and some updates basically. Let's get down to it really quickly. You might have seen it somewhere else, you might not have. If you haven't yet, I'm going to post it on my channel anyway. There is a patch coming out on the 22nd of November. Break it down. This is on a Reddit post. This is official. Let's see here. The news, Battleground Optimization, starting at Legend rank. As the score increases, the resonance restriction will gradually decrease until it is ignored. After a successful match, armor and armor penetration will be considered in assigning the attack and defensive defense sides. Now, what that means is once you make it to Legendary rank in Battlegrounds, all bets are off. You will be paired constantly with rezos of all across the board, mostly whales. So that's going to be interesting, and it's also going to be interesting how the system will be able to handle it, or how it will best handle it, let's say, because I feel like this is still going to be pretty rough in how it assigns people, but we'll just have to wait and see come the patch, and just, yeah, I don't know. The fallout of this is probably going to be pretty terrible. However, the key component here, which we'll get into in a bit, I got some images to go along with the second part of this, which is after a successful match, it says, armor and armor penetration will be considered in assigning the attack and defense sides. Which, honestly, I don't see how that would matter, because the values aren't going to be different. So, I don't know if they think a higher attack or a higher armor penetration stat would be getting assigned to the attack side or the defense side. Or maybe they'll go by saying, oh, well, you have higher armor, we'll put you on defense. Or you have a higher armor penetration stat, we're going to put you on attack. That kind of thing. That's the only thing that I got out of that might make any sense. However, I don't think the matchmaking system, honestly, is going to be able to handle this very well at all, because there are some wild numbers out there, and there is a caveat to this as well that could be kind of problematic. The whales could take out their normal gems, or they could swap out like a different set item and run with, like, say, I don't know, more yellow normal gems, so they would have more resistance and more potency than they would have, say, armor penetration going into a match. I've seen some of them swapping that around and swapping their gems out, the colors. So that may be, unfortunately, another unfortunate workaround. But anyway, I kind of hate myself for saying that out loud. People might catch on to it, and they might try to pull that now. But then if they do, that means just more dirty, low-down cheaters that just refuse to still play the game already as it stands, and they have to continue to try to make themselves feel anywhere remotely superior by pulling such tactics. And it's just plain flat out, I've said it before, it's plain flat out sad. It truly is. It's like, you're not playing the game. Well, if you're a whale, I'm sorry, but if you're not playing the game has already played you. We'll just keep it at that. Alright, moving on. In the match of a dungeon, battleground, wild brawl, players will be able to match with players from more servers. So, opening that net up. Hopefully that means queue times won't be quite so harsh. We will have to wait and see how that pans out as well. Number 3, after entering a random dungeon, if you choose to skip the opening cinematic, then any dungeon entered via random dungeon in the next 1 hour will also skip the opening cinematic. Thank goodness. Long overdue on that one. That one should have happened a while ago. It kind of happens now, but you have to do like the initial load of the cinematic at least one time currently right now in that particular dungeon. Once you do it once, it does stay away, but it does come back, I think, after an hour. going back into it again. So I have noticed that, and I've had that happen to me. But this time though, it means if you do the random dungeons, not like a selected dungeon, random party formation, it's going to automatically do it for you after you skip the cinematic the first time for all of the dungeons. So that's a very welcome change. It should have happened a long time ago. Anyway, number 4, equipping auxiliary legendary gem or having a dormant legendary gem will no longer restrict server transfers. This was already brought up on Echo's channel. He had a video that talked about this and showed, I think it was probably a Reddit post, that they showed like, hey, it won't let me server transfer because I have a dormant gem. It says they gave them the error message saying, oh, bring your gem back up to full power before you transfer. There's probably something behind that. I get it, but I guess they're letting go of it and they say, no, that's no longer an issue anymore. Which, I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's not like, I don't know, you shouldn't have to pump all that gem power back into it just to swap a server if you want to. All right. And then number 5, this is probably talking about the familiars. Some anomalies have appeared on the dark side of the moon sanctuary. What about the hungering moon that we have all the time, which we have up right now, actually, by the way. Anyway, a group of magical creatures have been discovered, which is the familiars, I'm sure, participating in the event. So there's going to be an event coming up. We'll unlock more clues. So it's probably going to be like a mini side story for these about the subsequent new version. So I'm guessing they will give us we'll possibly have like a side story going to find the base versions of them. And then this event, whatever it is, will unlock clues about the subsequent new version. So it might hopefully help us unlock how to evolve them. And last I heard, and I think it's pretty much official at this point. Last I heard, though, there will not be gem slots on your pets. But more than likely, we'll be getting new gems on the way. How they're gonna slot. If they're gonna slot more places for them, I'm not sure where that's gonna go or how that's gonna come about, if at all. But they're not gonna be with the pets. But it sounds like we're probably gonna get new, more 5-star gems on the way, per usual. But anyway, so that's that for those. Now here we go. Let's go back to number 1 about what I like about number 1. Battleground Optimization. This should remove any well, we'll see how well it does at it, for one, to start with, but it should deter, if not remove, the current smurfing whale meta that's been kind of floating around here for a little while now. It started to get a little too out of hand. What would happen is, well, let me just break it down for you. You get a whale, case in point here in this one. That's their stats. Let me see. Oh, let me hold this. Close that. Get out of the way. That's their stats at full resonance. Okay. And let's see here. Got this in right order. No, that's the resonant. No. Yeah, that's full resonance stats right there that I have that snapshot of. The next one, there we go, is from when they did a smurfing match. Now, there's not much difference between the two. Obviously, it's only going to be, they changed a few pieces of gear, as we all do along the way, so there's a few, points here and there, like 4495 to 4500, 07. That's not much of a difference. That means they just swap some gear pieces around. That's not what we're talking about, though. This is what they'd be running at with top screen is full resonance. Hang on a minute. We got regular resonance, and then we got our smurfing resonance at the bottom. All right. Now, their stats. They're the same. Pretty much the same, okay? Now, here we go with example of The resonance now of both kinds. Here's where the Smurf, this is what's referred to as Smurfing for those that don't know already. Which a lot of you already do, but let me break it down. Regular resonance, top of the screen, 8,870 resonance on regular. Bottom resonance, 3,650. Yes, they did run a match, and I obviously have it on video to make these snapshots. But they did run a match, and they did try to Smurf. But they still had their same secondaries. Okay? They're not the only one, though, that has done this. There's another one. There's quite a few, actually, that have done this. They won't be able to as much anymore, so that patch honestly can't get here fast enough as far as I'm concerned. Let's break it down with some more. We have another example here. Let's see. Boom. And I'll do a side-by-side on this one. Now you can see Smurfing stats. Their secondaries. Look at them. They got 5K for resistance. 44, almost 4,500 for armor penetration. The armor is honestly a little light, but look at the resonance. At the far right, the bottom corner, 2,110. You don't get that kind of resonance and have those secondary attributes. Now, this one here in particular, I have seen them run with their somewhat full resonance recently, and they're in the 8K, 7-8K region for resonance with those secondaries. So, that's what Smurfing is. And if that doesn't paint a clear picture, I don't know what does. These are all examples that I have had in various videos of mine that I have on I have on record. But so here we go. I'm sharing these cut and dry, clear as can be, which is why I am overly ecstatic. Let's go ahead and close these back out. I am overly ecstatic, however, to the update on its way. Can't get here fast enough. Can't get here fast enough with the Battleground Optimization, because unfortunately, I don't know, for whatever reason, never noticed it this bad before, but they all decided this season, for some whatever reason, like I said, to just kind of amp that up. So this is going to be a big deterrent of it. Granted, once you make it the legendary, you know, yourself in Battlegrounds, all bets are off anyway, but hey, I've been used to that all along, so I welcome it. So I'm all the more for it. I'd rather be like, you come at me with everything you got as you are. None of this, you know, sneaky whatever BS. So yeah, I'd rather have it that way. And a lot of times I do anyway. So, which seen in some previous videos I've posted, but still nonetheless, that I'm happy about it. I'm honestly happy about it. Now, how well it's going to work, that remains to be seen. We'll just have to play the wait and see. It's probably going to take a little while for it to cycle through. I wouldn't be surprised if you see yourself sitting in Battleground queues for... I'm already getting longer queues already of like 3-4 minutes sometimes. So I wouldn't be surprised if it goes longer, because there's more. They're going to dump more in that algorithm. And it's going to look at everybody's stuff and be like, holy crap, this is a mess. And it's gonna have a hell of a time sorting through all that jumble. But anyway, just wanted to put this video out. Like I said, it's been talked about elsewhere already, but I wanted to put it on my channel as well, just because with my little take on it as well, with what I had just shown here. So there you go. Until next time, everybody, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves in this world on fire. Until next time, bye-bye.